Christmas stream. It is later on. We're doing it. It's currently just after 5:30 here now. We probably would do it at 8 or 9, so around that time. I don't have a specific time because I have to go actually out in a few minutes and do something. So I'm only here basically in a few minutes just to top of the Twitter files because later on we'll be too busy, probably Saturday, just having too much fun. Probably, let's put it that way. We'd be all up in the head. We'd be all hype, but let's put it that way. So yeah, it's later on we're doing. We're not doing it at the moment, just to say, but it will be later on. We will do it. So is that fair enough? I think that's reasonable enough for people. I know it's a bit late. It's important, but I just don't want to do it at the moment because I want to have a bit of time. I'm under a bit of time pressure at the moment. In terms of getting it done. So, like if I'd done it now, I'd be under time pressure. So yeah, just give me 2 seconds just to one do something. Good evening, Sean. But yeah, just sorry about that. I just the one there to do something. But yeah, so the Christmas room will be later on, just to say. But yeah, the Twitter files, the second part of the Twitter files came out, and it was basically in relation to the basically shadow banning and stuff like that. And beforehand, the mainstream media and stuff like that, it was a conspiracy theory. Nobody was being shadow banned on Twitter. It was conspiracy, making it up. But apparently so. Apparently not. Sorry, it's not. It's apparently a conspiracy theory came true. Would you believe that? Because it's there in black and blue that it's there, and that's not the best part. There's other stuff I need to discuss too. But yeah, like the Libs of TikTok, a few other conservatives. Like basically, it was all basically conservatives that had different opinion. Hello, Jack. Has different opinions than the mainstream media and the Democrats party in America and all that. They had different opinions, basically pro life and things like that. They would stop you from reaching stop you from being seen on social media. So basically, people who only followed you basically could see. And then there was cases where if you search your name up, you couldn't find the account. Right, I'm gonna. Excuse me. Sorry, apologies. Um. Yeah, so there's loads of stuff like that, and I think I kind of had an idea myself that we're doing it, but we kind of have the proof there in front of us that they are doing it. They were doing it before. They're not probably not doing it now, but it's there to be seen. That they were censoring and that they were trying to suppress accounts to stop it from being reached out and things like that. But the other parties, the Democrats and things, obviously there was no such thing as that. There's no such thing. Because again, the majority of Twitters beforehand was Democratic donors and stuff like that. So obviously, in the United States, it would be in breach of the First Amendment, obviously, the freedom of expression and things like that. And obviously, across the world, but anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we have to wait for Elon Musk to release documents in relation to. I want him to release about what the Irish government had, what negotiation with the Irish government had with Twitter, particularly. Like we need to wait for that. I'm assuming it'll come out at some stage, like to find out what they were doing. I know questions have been asked about it. But we had to wait and see until we see proof, until we see the paper in front of us. Because I'm just going by what was released last night. But yeah, so Libs of TikTok and things like that account, I'm sure people are aware of it, was suppressed and things that were falsely banned multiple times and things like that. And this is not this is not the worst part or the best part. They were able to look, so basically Twitter employees could look into your DMs, so basically your messages, people who messaged you. Which again, if you have sensitive information or things that they shouldn't, that's obviously a breach of privacy. Because now, a social media company shouldn't look at your private messages to other people unless they reasonably suspect that you're involved in criminal activity or something like that, obviously. But, again, it looks like they were using it misleadingly to spy on basically people who are having conversations, like the Libs of TikTok and stuff like that. That they were looking into their messages and things like that. So basically being nosy, in other words, and kind of looking into it. But it wouldn't, they wouldn't look in the Democratic Party or into that. No, God knows we couldn't do that. Any Democratic senators or things like that. But basically, first of all, they shouldn't have the technology Twitter to look at people's DMs, private DMs. Unless, again, it should be the authorities or whoever. If something's expected, like, for example, somebody's selling drugs basically on Twitter to people and in the DMs talking about how much they're going to pay and stuff like that. That's obviously up to the guards or the police or whatever in whichever country they sort of that. That's obviously against the law, and obviously there should be something done about that if that's happening, or child pornography or anything like that being sold. That should obviously be enforced and things like that. But I'm talking about only people having conversations, even just about the weather or stuff like that. Even people just talking amongst friends and stuff like that. Even me, take for example, I'm not too worried about it. I haven't really said too much in my private DMs or anything. But I've been talking to politicians and things like that. That's getting, and some of it's sensitive information. One time I was talking to politicians, I looked back in my DMs. I was talking to politicians about a sensitive issue relating to somebody. Um, and God knows a Twitter employee could have been looking at that, and it's sensitive information about somebody else that that somebody else wanted me to pass on to this politician. So again, you see what I'm coming from. They're entitled to their privacy at the end of the day. So I'm saying a Twitter employee could have looked at that message and read through it, and because again, it was only for me and that politician and the person that asked me to do it to know. It was only for basically the three of us. Nobody else was supposed to know about this. Because it was a private matter which they were taking it up with. They wanted me to go to the politician, their politician, their constituency, on behalf of them, to go on behalf of them, to me to go on behalf of them, basically. I'd done that via Twitter because they had a Twitter account and we were able to DM them. But again, it's just the point that they shouldn't have access, because again, they shouldn't have access. Again, I'd say Twitter employee could have been looking and and they could be selling that on to the government, or they could be sending it off to NGOs, or to the as I say in the United States, they could be looking at Republicans, and trying to find information about them and things like that. And basically trying to find out who's voting Republican, stuff like that, and give it to the FBI, because again, the FBI have a role to play in this too. You know what I'm saying? It can be misled, it can be misused in loads of different ways. And obviously that breaches multiple privacy laws, obviously. Because again, as I say, I can't stress this enough, if somebody's breaking the law into that, obviously, they have reasonable grounds to go in and look at their messages, as I say, if they're doing child pornography. But they have to have reasonable grounds, have to have reasonable suspicion or reasonable grounds. And obviously that should be up to they should get obviously warrant first of all, go through the court and get a warrant and stuff like that, to put a stop. But they shouldn't just go in and sneak into people's DMs and look at it. Obviously that's wrong, I'm sure people would agree. Because again, people are entitled to their privacy, they're entitled to their privacy. Again, even if it's just talking about the weather or talking about sports, they're entitled to have their privacy. I don't know. But we should have. But yeah, we have to wait and see, I suppose. We have to wait and see what happens. Because I'm sure Elon Musk eventually will release basically everything, because he's on about the Brazilian election at the moment. But we have to wait and see, basically. But I have reasonable suspicion the Irish government had, as I said before, Sean, the European headquarters in Ireland, they pay little to no tax here, let's be fair. So the Irish government could go to Twitter, through the whole time that we've been here, basically, and say, if you don't comply to what we are telling you to do, like said to this person, shut this person up, stop this from trending, And that's another thing, but I'll go on to that in a second. We're going to tax you to hell and to back, basically, because the Irish government could threaten to do that. Because again, they're only here on a holiday, Twitter. So the Irish government could threaten them, say, we're going to give you billions of dollars. If you don't, you're going to have to pay billions of dollars every year to have a headquarters in Ireland if you don't comply to us, because the Irish government have that levy over them, I suppose you could say, that we are the government. We can tell you what we want, and you're here on a holiday, and we can say what we can do, what we want, basically. Because again, you can see it being misled, and again, the Democratic Party seem to be telling, in America particularly, seem to be telling who they don't want getting reached, basically members of the public to see their accounts and stuff like that. Which again, it's a violation of the First Amendment, and probably everything under the sun. But yeah, we'll wait and see about that anyway. But again, the trending list too. So Twitter deliberately manipulated the trending list. You probably see it in Ireland. Calvin Day was trending in 2020 and things like that. It's basically the top trends in the country. A country like Ireland or America, wherever. They might have different things. They might be talking about plants. They might be talking about animals. Whatever. Twitter employees were deliberately said some stuff they didn't like, basically, that didn't suit their narrative. So say it's topic East Wall there, it's trending on Twitter most of the time, or Ireland is full or something like that. They would be dumped down the memory hole a few years ago, and nobody would be able to see heads nor tails of it. So obviously that's wrong, because obviously that's interfering in public discussion. Obviously if it's debating something, like blow up everybody in the country, obviously that's a bit extreme, let's be fair, and obviously that should be not really encouraged to be trending, basically, if that makes any sense, or to kill somebody, obviously. But just for people having a discussion about different things, but they might not suit the narrative of the Democratic Party or Twitter or the mainstream media, whatever. Because the trending list on Twitter does drive the mainstream media, because they do talk about stuff that's trending. Because that's really all journalists do nowadays, to stay on Twitter, and they don't do in journalistic work to stay on Twitter and read Twitter, and that's their basic journalism. But yeah, obviously that's not right, and obviously that's the violation too of people, because people are entitled to speak freely, and to have public discussions, and obviously interfering in the middle is not right. I'm sure you would agree. But yeah, there's lots more stuff that could be here all night discussing it. But yeah. But we have to wait and see anyway what happens anyway. Because when the Irish ones do come out, I'd be reading through it all. I'd be looking through it all just to see what they knew and what they didn't know, what the government told them to do. But basically, this is only the top, the tip of the iceberg. Basically, we have to go underneath. That's the next part, Sean. You have to go underneath the iceberg now to find the skeletons in the closet. If that makes any sense. So basically, this is only the tip of what Tipper has been doing. The Twitter's been doing. The tip, like this is the tip of the iceberg. As you know, an iceberg in the Atlantic or something, like the one that sucked the Titanic or into that. You can see the top of it, but that's only the tip. That's nothing compared to what's underneath. The big huge lump of ice underneath, below the waterline. So, and that's all going to come out eventually. But it's just the basics at the moment that we're focusing on, and what I have to work with at the moment. But the mainstream media, it's how that nobody, literally not the Irish Times, nowhere to be found on this topic, on the Twitter files, nowhere to be found. OT nowhere to be found. All very silent. And then the Hunter Biden story and stuff, nowhere to be found. OT nowhere to be found in it. But yeah, I don't know what people think about that. But obviously, it's wrong what they were doing, and obviously, particularly again looking into people's messages and things like that. That's obviously a breach of privacy, and stuff like that. And there's other stuff too that I could go on for hours. Like I do recommend looking up the Twitter files, the second part of the Twitter files, to know the full details. There's a lot of them. Now it's about 40 something tweets about it, reading through it. That's the top of my head. These are the main things I wanted to talk about, particularly. But there's more, obviously, too. And there's more to probably come out, as I say. But nearly every country probably in the world, there's stuff to be said. But this is just, again, this is at the top of the iceberg. But we have to wait, obviously, to see what happened, what's going on in Ireland. Which I have no doubt that sooner or later will come out. Because obviously Twitter has one of the main headquarters in the world in Ireland, the European headquarters, which is obviously very important. So we have to wait and see really what happens. In regards to that. But yeah, anything else? I don't know. I probably miss a few things. But let me think for a second. So yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'm just trying to think now. Yeah, I think that's all basically the main things I wanted to touch on, because they're kind of the main things. But yeah, there might be some other stuff I might be missing in my head. In my soul, in my head. Need to take for a second. Let me see. I looked the Twitter files myself now here. I might be missing something. Like I went through it all last night when I came out. I was just finished the live stream in about 10 minutes, and then the whole lot came out. So I'm just gonna look through them again briefly, because I know them things they talked about there is 100% facts, because I've seen the evidence about it. Let me see, where's the Twitter files? I have them saved, but I can't remember them. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. If I could find them, that'd be good. Yes, there's probably going to be more released probably soon. So yeah, the former Twitter director too, Leo the Link is trending on Twitter too. But the former director Jack Dorsey, basically said before Congress at one stage, in the United States, that there was no such thing. They didn't blacklist people. They didn't uh, shadow ban people. That was false, and he misled Congress because he was brought for the committee, and he said that. So that's another thing too. Obviously in breach of it, because obviously you take a note when before the Congress to be truthful. Oh God, what's happening? It's a fire brigade. Is anything happening? No, I have no mentions. That's the fire brigade. I messed that up. Which way is it going? Where is it going? Well, I don't know where that's going at all. Yeah, I hope everybody's fine, and I don't think I need it at the moment. Um, hello, guys. We're talking about the Twitter files. Basically, I've kind of talked about nearly everything. But yeah, that's fine. No, I hope everybody's fine. I hope there's not too serious going on. Oh no, it's just a fire brigade. I don't know. It might be an accident. I hope nobody's too badly hurt. I haven't got a message to enter that, so I don't think I have to go out. And I might be. I just stay mobile, ready for a call just in case I'm called out. The council might be needed. Well, not likely. I said the fire brigade have it covered. Let me see. I lost my train of thought. Yeah. So basically, long story short, is Twitter is up to some different than beforehand. Uh, I'm sure people have seen the Twitter files and stuff like that, but I basically talked about everything. Yeah, because basically it talks about basically everything I just mentioned. I kind of summed it up very nicely there in the last few minutes. Uh, Let me see. So I'm just reading through it. I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think I just yeah. No, sorry. I'm just going through it to make sure uh, I've covered everything. So yeah, there was a account too. That basically, if you had an account and you were hashtagging something, it wouldn't be seen. Basically, so that was another thing too. Particularly about COVID and stuff like that too. Well, it's Twitter. It's the Twitter files. It's the part two. I kind of basically went through it all. I think I've said everything there. Yeah, I think I've basically have covered everything in the last few minutes. I know you probably just came in when I was just finishing covering it, but yeah, if you have time at the end, like if you have time later on, give the last few minutes a watch. But basically, long story short is people being censored. People they were looking into your DMs. So basically, your private messages. Take for example, you had a private message from me. A Twitter employee could just randomly turn up and look at your DMs just because why not? Apparently so. Like apparently what was released. So no, but no, it's no bad. But basically, long story short is they were looking probably at everybody's DMs. Second part is they were trying to set some people from basically blacklisting people and shadow banning people for from being seen on Twitter. People that didn't like their opinions, basically. Uh, you know, Tour de Father was most likely said to win conservative people majority of the time. Tour de Father obviously with the film with the trending list and stuff like that, they were moving things that they didn't like. It didn't represent their narratives, so they would move them stuff, and that's basically up to speed on it. If that makes any sense, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it, but I just discussed it a while ago, and I kind of discussed it, I think, better than I'll be able to discuss it now. There's the gouge. Probably serious enough, but I don't think I'd be needed yet, as far as I know. If so, then we'd be here all night. I know, but yeah, basically, I would tweet the day on Twitter, the part two of the Twitter files. If you have time to look at it, it's a lot of but it's worthwhile knowing. But it's not happening now. This is happening before Elon Musk took over. So yeah. But yeah, we're doing a Christmas stream later on, just to say. I don't know. I'm not doing it now. No, I know. I have a look. I look into it now, and I haven't got any phone call about it, so I'm assuming the Celts are not needed yet. Probably just somebody slided in the trees or something like that. Happened earlier on. We were out earlier on, and me and two other people in the Celts are there. We were in the truck. We were caught out. There was a cow stuck wet into the ditch, wet flying down the road and into a ditch. And should the fireman get her out, getting the person out of the car because we were stuck into the ditch. They had to get a ladder way down into the ditch to get him out. And sure, look at, you know yourself, and took half the trees with him in the country. And sure, look at. But anyway, he was fine. He was a bit shocked. He was a bit shocked after, but anyway, that's about it. But yeah, so that's what we were doing. But that's what happened earlier on this morning. But basically, the only thing we had to do was put cones up and basically all that. Apologies about that, sorry. I don't think we're needed at the moment. We'll wait for a few minutes or anything. I'll go in a minute or two and I'll find out more in a sec. Find out more what's happened. But yeah, I stay around for a few minutes anyway. But that's basically all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk because later on we'll be all up in the head about this Christmas tree. And I might as well get out of the way now and talk about it. But yeah. So yeah, we talk then. So yeah, just give me 2 seconds. Just I set up a few things. I have to go out anyway outside in a second. I'm going to do something. Give me 2 seconds. No, how's everybody doing? Everybody looking forward to the Christmas stream tonight? The final sacrifice. But basically, yeah, so basically, hopefully nobody's on. And this poster behind me, I wonder why my poster's not up, it keeps falling, so you've been the most nuisance of a thing going. It's a nuisance. But sure, I'll try and get it up tonight again, before I live stream again. So yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else. Unless anybody else has a question about later on tonight, to. So basically, anyway, we're giving away 350s, which basically is 150 basically. That's what we have in the budget. So basically, probably through PayPal most likely. We'll give people most likely, and hopefully we get it done. We get it out to the people by that time. Like by this evening. So that's the idea, and so. But will it work? But anyway. But yeah, I waited about another 5 minutes. I don't think we'll need that yet at the moment. I'm just kind of waiting around for a phone call if it does come. To be mobilised if needs be. I have another place to be anyway in a few minutes. But I don't think I'm needed at the moment. But going by what I heard there a few minutes ago. I think they just need to fire again the guards. I don't think they need the cows. But they could, but we wait and see. So yeah, but yeah, any other questions? Sorry, we'll go in a few minutes time. Hopefully nobody's injured anyway. Whatever happened in the world. But sure, look at the people speeding and on the phone and stuff, and not concentrating. So you wonder why people. You wonder why people be doing in that condition, but. But yeah, but obviously I think we all knew just when I just touched back in the Twitter files because I mentioned about it earlier on. I think we all kind of knew what they were up to, but anyway. But we kind of didn't have it. We didn't have the evidence, but now we kind of have the evidence to say that they were up to shenanigans. Let's put it that way. I think that's the only way you can put it. Particularly again, as I say, about looking into people's DMs, like they wouldn't know about and things like that. Like you can't just randomly take somebody's phone off them on the street and look through the emails and look through the messages and stuff like that. Obviously, you can't do that. If you went up to some random woman on the street and just snatched the phone and then started going through messages and stuff like that, nobody can do that now. And that's basically what Twitter's doing. We're doing beforehand. Maybe they could be still doing it now, probably no. But we have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, some other questions about tonight, aren't there? Because now is the time to ask. But anyway, there'll probably be some of the modelways there. The modelways probably in with me. Right. We probably 2 or 3 of them in with me. I don't know. We see. They might be busy. I said if they're not busy, they might be in. So it's kind of 50-50. We want to be there. If they're not busy, then they can be there. If they are busy, then that's fair enough. So I take that as no, nobody has any questions. I hit the chat, so that would be no. I just hit it there. So yeah, I think we leave it there for the moment. So we'll probably be back at 8 or 9, give or take, to go live. 8 or it'll probably be 9, most likely. Mine, I say. Going by if I'm not called out to this, whatever's happened. So yeah, give or take. Yeah, I say 9 or 8, whatever. So somewhere in that vicinity, I suppose. Well, it could be 9, as I say, but well, that time it probably will be starting. It'll probably be 30 minutes in when we start doing the thing. That reasonable enough. I think don't know. Doesn't quite. But yeah, I think we're going up. So yeah, take care. I'll talk to you all later. So yeah, bye.